Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's Tuesday night. It's the best place for Bama football. The Bama Standard is live. Before we get started, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're in the live chat, let's get rowdy tonight. Let's get active. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section down below. Show us love there. As always, we can't do anything without our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a digital presence, full-fledged marketing team, SEO, copyright, or any other business need, these are the guys you want coaching your team up. Visit them today at workspacepros.com. After the show, of course, they will get you where you need to be. I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is an all-star panel. First and foremost, we got a 1999 all-SEC linebacker. And when Ric Flair said to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man. He is that man. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvin Constant.
Yo, roll tide, baby.
And then just above him, we got the senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine and the Bama Standard. He also is a man who keeps Paul Feinbaum gainfully employed. Ladies and gentlemen, the living legend himself, Stephen M. Smith.
What's up, everybody? Fresh off Media Days, fall camp next week. Let's go.
Let's go. And then last but not least, he's an all-SEC defensive back. He was in the NFL as a player and a scout. He was an XFL. He also changes carburetors in between segments, but he's right now with 247 Sports and the Bama Standard. Welcome back, the illustrious Gerald Smoke Dixon.
I like the illustrious. I don't know what it means. I ain't go to class that much, but keep going.
Well, I'm from Mississippi, and it's over 4 letters, so I don't know what it is either. I just heard it on a word of the day calendar, so I said, you know what, let's do it. Welcome in, everybody. We got 2 special guests in the house, and there's only one man who can introduce y'all to them properly. Stephen M. Smith, do your thing.
Well, we're going to start off with the young gun in the room, class of 2025, big-time baller right here out of Hartfield Academy in Mississippi. He finna light everybody on fire. We got him. He's in the room, hair like Troy Polamalu, ready for the Head and Shoulders NIL. London, boom, Simmons. And he throwing up the like. Here we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then we got
Red light district.
We got a 2-time BCS national champion. Got that back-to-back 2011 and 2012. We got that 2012 SEC title champion. He got that against Georgia, by the way. 2012, he had 7 sacks. He had 11 tackles for loss. He had 3 forced fumbles. He played in the NFL. He played in the CFL. And now he's behind the scenes doing his best. Dr. Dre behind the scenes putting together that music with that Big Bama Anthem with Rare Spliff. Adrian Hubbard, Red Light Specials here.
How do you rate that, fellas? I got to hear it. Like I said, if y'all have aspirations to go into the WWE or an awards banquet, this is the man to call upon.
Absolutely.
Man, 10. Most
10.
Definitely.
Oh, man.
All right, folks. Like Stephen M. Smith said, we got the next generation of Bama here on the panel, and we're going to get to know him a little bit. So we're going to go around the room, asking a few questions, let y'all know exactly what is coming to T-Town. So I'll start off first, and then we'll go to Stephen M. Smith, then Smoke, down to Marvin, and Adrian, the 2-time national champion, will throw in something there too, and we'll kind of start things over. First of all, brother, thank you so much for joining us. We know you're working hard this summer. Also coming off the first state championship and your school's history, 14-0 record. Congratulations on that, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I got to start, man. Talk to us about your weight loss journey. You spoke a little bit about it before we on air. Talk about going through that, what your inspiration was, what your motivation was, and let the folks know exactly how much of a change you made. And let them know just how dedicated you are.
So my motivation was really I can't remember which game. I think it was like probably maybe championship game. I had a college coach tell me I would be like 350 before I got my freshman year in college. So I was like, okay, I want to prove you wrong. So I just started so after the season, I had championship game, I had 6 sacks in the championship game. So I was already angry then. So after that, I just started eating. I stopped eating carbs like bread and pasta. It'll get you, because I'm a bread lover. I really love bread. So I stopped eating that, and then I just started just working out twice a day, and then I just started seeing changes. And when I seen changes, I kept going, and now I'm here.
Tell the truth, them honey buns and them Twinkies can be deadly, huh?
I'm not really a sweet. I like bread. I love bread.
Well, maybe it was just me, because they used to get me all the time, baby.
So, but with that, if you follow Jaheim Otis, he's a guy who kind of had a similar situation, and he dropped a lot of weight, and he looks like, man, he's ready for the bodybuilding stage almost, man. He's an absolute beast. Did you kind of look at his journey and draw inspiration from that, or is that something you just?
I never even noticed, but Freddie Roach, Coach Freddie Roach, he told me about it. He was like, he had kind of the same journey as you, coming from the same, state also.
Okay. Stephen.
My thought process for Young London is just this upcoming season. What's the biggest area of your game that you're trying to craft to make sure I'm dominating my box, my guy, my one-on-one matchup? What's the biggest area you're looking at this season to really dominate in?
The biggest area I'm willing to dominate is, I know I'm not going to get a lot of one-on-one blocks this year. So I want to actually fighting the double team, which I've asked Coach Freddie Roach about even passing wise and running wise. I also want to get into the coach. I'm not a vocal leader for real.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I didn't really have to be a vocal leader because I wasn't the oldest. So I want to get into more vocal route of things, pushing my teammates, you know what I'm saying, just stuff like that.
That's what's up.
That's well said. Well, that's well said. Well, I got a couple of questions I got one question for you, but a quick advice, because I love what you just said in terms of trying to improve. You said you want to improve your body, and you've done that. You said you wanted to be a more vocal leader, but what you got to do is just make sure that you're always comfortable with yourself.
Yes, sir.
And what you're saying means something, because you're just not saying it to say it. And just me listening to you for the first time, you are a powerful leader. You just got to come out and say it. Yes. Now, the thing that I would say is, when I talk to young people, I always ask them, who are some of the players in the NFL or college that you try to emulate their game, try to put a little bit of their game into yours and try to make it a whole? Who are those 2 or 3 players, if you had come off the top of your head with them?
I would say Aaron Donald, and I would say Chris Jones.
Two good ones. 2 really good ones.
Why Aaron Donald?
Because he had kind of he was the underdog, just like me. I wasn't really very recruited. I like underdogs, and he actually, I think he's the best D lineman ever. But that can be debatable.
And Chris Jones?
He came from Mississippi, of course. So I just been seeing him a lot. Yeah.
Still good. That's 2 good choices, man. Those are 2 of my favorite. I flipped the order who I like better between you and me, but either way, you can't go wrong.
Marvin, I know you got plenty to say.
All right, so I watched your highlights, and I noticed powerful punch. I mean, you're talking about an amazing bull rush, good get off, great feet. You can still get to the ball carrier of the quarterback, very mobile. So with all that, why do you think you're a 3-star, and what do you need to do to get those other 2 stars that I think you're very capable of getting?
Yeah.
Marvin,
I think I'm a 3-star because I came on real late. I came on so late, so it's gonna take a little while for me to get my grade updated, and just I think it's gonna happen. At least a 4-star.
But what are you gonna do to ensure that they give you them 2 stars? That you're gonna take them? What are you gonna do to take them though?
Yeah, I'm doubling my stats this year, so I'm gonna get about 40. I'm being for real, 30 sacks this year.
Ooh.
I'm
All
going
right,
for it.
Will
If
Anderson.
you had 6 in the state championship game, I believe that is more than doable. All I'm going to tell you is put in the work and you'll reap the rewards. Take what you feel you're owed. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yes, sir.
Adrian, you're a man who knows a lot about sacks and overpowering the offensive lineman, and you're probably one of the most inspirational guys I've come across in just in the short time that we've been talking. What do you have for London?
Well, I played my last year of high school. That was my first year playing football. So I know about jumping on the scene late. 22 sacks in 1 year, first year. For me, one thing that I didn't hear you say is being you is enough. You already once you know you're capable of doing something, it's about like staying in that. It's like a tunnel vision. It's like staying there.
Right.
And it's no different than being at University of Alabama, where we'll beat a team that's supposedly, top ranked in the SEC by 30 and 40 points.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we got LSU next week. We already know what that it's like, stacking. It's like, it's just stacking your wins, and never getting too. I'm old school, but I was old school before I went to Alabama. My father was a drill sergeant for 22 years in the military. My mom was a Captain Ranger nurse in the Army for 9 years. My grandfather was one of the first Buffalo soldiers. You may be too young to know what a Buffalo soldier is. But my bloodline is, it's a lot of, it's precious. That's what my bloodline is. And, you got your family and things that you like to play for. Yeah, Alabama's on the front of your jersey, but when you dominate people and you put the other player on on their back, people see the back of your jersey. I want you to understand that you're already ahead of the game. Most guys don't know about how to really lose weight. Most guys don't really understand nutrition. That's the thing that's different now that you guys have access to, that a lot of, guys back, I'm 2010. So it's like, 10, 15 years, 10, however many years, 12 years removed from high school. And just that small amount of time, because that's what it is. Like nutrition has changed. You guys are getting access to new trainers. So take full advantage of that. And it's not so much about how you're beating people it is how you're beating them, but it's more about like, what are you doing to beat them? Like when you have a huddle account, how most guys like to go see their highlights. Well, what I do, with certain players that I consult with, I don't talk about the players that I consult with. You just see them on Saturdays and they ball out. Then they eventually get to Sundays. That's for another conversation that I'll talk about guys who I've been involved with. But for me to you, I'm a pass rusher. I'm gonna ask you this: do you look at the ball or do you look at the man when you pass rush?
That's a good question. I got a habit of looking at the ball, but I also look at the man and seeing what he do. What is he doing? Like, what is he trying to do to me? So yeah.
Absolutely. So, what positions on the D line do you play?
I play everything, but I'm gonna play 0 to 3.
0 to 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so BJ Raji, this is the person who between Coach Sal and BJ Raji helped me, understand pass rush on the interior when I was at Green Bay. He used to tell me, he's like, Hub, everybody looks at the ball. That's great. But at the next level, they pinch the ball and the ball may not move. And you see that you see that pitch and you see that ball move and you go. If you go and that offensive lineman don't move, who's offsides?
Me.
Okay. If you see that toe move on that center or that guard, and you go off that movement, who did a false start? Who's offsides?
O-lineman.
Okay. So you can react a lot faster to a man before you can react, against a ball. When you react off a ball, you're going to be late. These are just facts.
Right.
Like you can go. Anybody who looks at picture this right here. You looking at the ball, right? You see where I'm looking at?
Yes, sir.
And when the ball hikes, you got to look at the man.
Right.
So now you having to transfer your eyes from two places, from here to here, rather than just looking at his foot or his knee or his hand or his hip. I'm all right here where I'm supposed to be already. But if you're looking at the ball, you got to go from here to here.
Right.
If you go from here to here, your hands don't fall. Your hands follow where your eyes go. So now I'm going here, but I'm not really seeing where I'm shooting my hands versus looking at the man and knowing where I'm gonna attack.
Right.
Immediately. So it's just simple IQs, and then we just starting at at the get off. We won't even talk about is he a high puncher? Is he a low puncher? Does he have which shoulder is soft? Is he a lunger? Is he a setter? These things get. Because if he's a high puncher, all right, cool. I can work a high swipe, or I can get his hands up. I'm gonna take him where his hands are. If his hands are low, I'm gonna take him where his hands are. I'm gonna take full advantage of this player.
What's your favorite move?
My favorite move?
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm a long arm you because I'm tall. I'm 6'6", so I'm a long arm you to keep my distance from you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get you to show me your hands, and after you show me your hands, I'm a swipe because I'm faster. I know that. A lot of people don't know this. I'm a world champion in Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai. That was from 9, 10, 11 years old in the world. So I already had experience with combat, with hands. And of course, ran 10-2 in track, but we ain't gonna talk about that either.
Had to throw that in, huh?
Just had to kind of toss that in there.
I'm gonna drop that and make sure y'all keep that right there. Don't move.
It's real. Like if you figure out what you do bad, when you watch your film and you figure out, what you have to figure out. And I figured I'm giving you game that I learned after.
Right.
That I wish I knew when I was your age. I need to know what moves I consistently win at.
Right.
I want to know what I consistently win at. And I don't want to watch my highlights. I want to forget them highlights. You already get recruited by the best, right?
Right.
I want to go. I want to scout the player, that I'm going against that week, and I want to see every move that he loses on. I want to see every move that moves that he wins on. So when you're in your huddle account, start breaking down stuff from the left and the right hash. Start seeing if your quarterback is a right-handed quarterback or a left-handed quarterback. Start seeing is the guy you're going against, look at his stances and things like that. Look where his pressure points are on his feet, and things. Start learning these things and ask your coaches questions and make your coaches coach you. That's how your coaches get better, with you asking questions. And you'll know what type of coach you have because he's gonna give you those answers.
Right.
But stay away from watching your highlights. Alabama, we got something called the Good, Bad, and Ugly that we watch on Sunday evening, and you'll be thinking you made one of the best plays, right?
Yes, sir.
But you be watching it'll be on the ugly film, and next thing you know, you're like, dang, like I thought, but it got nothing to do with you. It's your teammate that's gonna cost you later on.
Right.
So it's like you may be doing your job, but when you watch a film, you're doing your job. You got your job locked down. Now you start becoming that vocal leader. Like, hey, bro, why you didn't maintain the C gap over there? I know I made the play in the backfield, but what if I didn't make it and the running back bounced the ball out to the C gap where you were supposed to be? Like, you got to start holding people accountable. That's the one thing that we did at Alabama. People didn't really see us holding each other accountable because we were grown. Like we knew how to take coaching from my teammates. So the coaches really didn't have to do too much coaching. It wasn't too much going back and forth. Like your teammates should have the best for you, should think of you, in a light that, we brothers, we should be able to talk to each other. So if I don't have that, that repertoire with my teammate, we're not going to be great. And we all trying to be great. So I can go on, days talking about, how to be a champion. But at the end of the day, you have to walk yourself into that light as well.
Right.
Wow. That was powerful.
Well said.
Man. So, London, we as fans, especially Alabama fans, we're always looking for that next great insert former player here. If I had to make a comparison for you, I say Quentin Williams, easy. However, I'm not going to do that. Why is London Simmons the next Big Bama great?
I think I'm the next biggest Bama great because I actually work. I work hard, and I just I take coaching very well, and I want to get developed. And like I love getting developed. I love learning new things and what I can do on the field, off the field, as a student, as a player, and I love helping others out also.
Okay. Marvin?
So what is your relationship like with Coach Roach? We all know that those relationships play a pivotal role in getting guys to commit. So what is that relationship like with him, and what is he giving you that is being helpful to you right now?
Freddie Roach is my dog. I love Freddie Roach. He actually, one thing that I like about him, he would, like when I first met him, he was telling me what I was doing wrong, not what I was doing right, because I love like when people tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I always hear like what I'm doing right all the time. So like me hearing what I'm doing wrong, like, okay, he actually sees like more in me than other people, like coaches.
Well, next time you talk to him, tell him Marvin Constant said his golf game trash.
No. He said he's actually good though.
Oh man! No.
Tell him Marvin Constant said his golf game is trash.
I got you.
Make sure you start out with Marvin Constant said.
Now, London, along with Coach Roach, what's been that relationship with DC Kane Womack? Because that's the guy that's going to be calling the plays. As the defensive coordinator, what do you like about him? His energy, his attention to detail. What impresses you about Coach Kane?
I like Coach Kane. What impressed me about him was the same thing. Also, he like when I went in his office, of course I'm a great player, but it's always room for improvement. So he was telling me on what I can improve and just stuff like that, and just like he's a good guy to be around. He's like a funny guy, so I like him. And I think he's also from Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. I might be though.
Oh, what's up? My grandmother's from Hattiesburg.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
By Southern Miss, behind William and Carey.
Okay. Shoot.
Yep.
Family reunion. That's where I'm at. Are you taking us to lunch?
No.
Wow, London, you hear that? He comes through here, but he ain't gonna take us to lunch. Okay.
Listen, Adrian is not coming to the RV park to pick you up. It doesn't happen.
Man, listen, don't
teach
hate.
A man how to fish. I'm gonna tell you, you ain't gonna deal with this, London. I promise you ain't gonna deal with this at Alabama no more. But my first day on campus, we had to run 32 110-yard sprints. But we were on the bus with our parents, and they were taking us around campus, and they said, "Players, y'all got to get off." And we thought we about to go look at the facility, and we get in the facility, the doors closed. And then the facility doesn't look anything how it looks right now. It's a whole different facility. When the doors closed to the front door, and then we walk through the weight room, and they talking to us, showing us about the weight room. Then we go into the actual locker room, and then they say, "Hey, fellas, recruiting is over." Make sure y'all put y'all's gear on and meet us on field 3.
Was Terry, Coach TJ telling you that?
Yeah. You know what field 3 is? Field 3 over there by Jack's.
All the way over there on field 3. Not tripping.
Hey, Jack's on Hackberry. Hey, you be so tired, you be trying to get out that gate.
And what BT always say, make you do some jack burgers. Man, listen, anybody trying to run all the way over there?
There ain't nobody trying to run out. And it's gonna be, and it was at 2:30. You're like, so the sun right there in the sky at you in Tuscaloosa. And you're gonna figure out your 32 110s ain't Alabama 32 110s. Alabama 32 110s is down and back is 1. So it's 220 yards equal 1. It ain't no really 32 110s.
And how many times you heard that one don't count? You didn't make
that one don't count. Hey, Adrian. And the crazy thing, when we had to do the jack burpees, we had to make that green tarp move. So Big TJ used to stand on the opposite side. If you ain't touching to make it move, don't count. He's like, can I hit the line? Like, don't count. Didn't see the tarp.
Look, y'all won't laugh. So I'm in my head. When I first came, those 110s counted to me. Down the back was 2. Like I was, and so we had gotten to 16, but that was really 8 down the backs. And so in my head, like I'm like, sure, I'm halfway here. But then they said hands behind the line. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so I didn't go. I did not go. Like I'm like, nah, y'all miscounted. Like we had 16. Like, what's going on? And Coach TJ said, "Hey, Hubbard, what's going on?" I said, "We had 16." And he said, "The hell with that." I said, "I quit."
Hey, was he looking up in the air like this? What he was talking?
You know how Coach TJ was like, was thinking we looking to the sky. So I was like, I quit. He said, "What you say, Hubbard?"
What you say?
I said nothing.
that don't count. Hubbard didn't run.
All right. Our time's winding down with London. Smoke, what you got for him?
London, Marvin went ahead and teased the question of stars. And I'll give you some advice. You're going to get the 4th star just because you were committed to Alabama, period. Don't even worry about that. But what I would say to you is just give you a little bit, don't worry about the stars. Because once you commit to a school, the star game is over. You're going to one of the better schools. And when you line up and play, the stars ain't going to matter. This is why Adrian said when he got on campus, none of that mattered because you're there already. Now, if that's going to help you with an NIL and all that, that's going to happen too. But just keep on playing. Don't focus on so much of what the off-the-field accolades are. Be who you are, play the position that you play, and play it well. But my question to you is, what are you doing technically to improve your game from this year to next year?
What I'm doing to improve my game is being a little bit more quicker off the ball. And I just want to be like a little bit more violent with my hands because like I want to put my hands on them before they can even think. So like I just want to be a little bit more violent with my hands and like quicker off the ball.
So what drills are you doing to help you attain those goals that you've set?
Just get off because Coach Roach told me like sometimes I get high. So like just getting off the ball a little low. So like me having my hands in the ground and like just flicking them back will make me get low. I just want to get low and fast off the ball. So just get off and like just getting around like circles, like just flipping my hips.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Get you a friend and put him at right tackle or left tackle. It don't even got to be a football player. And go off whenever his toe moves where he got to push back. That's when you go.
So that's when you look off the toe.
Yeah. I look at film. I watch 0.3 seconds in film on somebody, and I go back and forth, and see what's the first thing that moves on their body, and I'll go off the toe, I'll go off the hip, I'll go off the hand. It's what you're looking at. But you're talking about you coming up sometimes. Well, if you're looking at the ball, you're gonna naturally come up in your first step when you look back at the man in front of you.
Right.
You're gonna naturally come up. So, just find your friend and just go off the toes and hips. That's gonna help you get off. That's gonna help you be able to get your hands on and work your moves and stuff like that, because you actually seeing where you're going versus redirecting where you're going.
Right.
The old school cat used to say, like Freed and those guys, when you're the edge player, Adrian, key the knees. Because that knee gonna twist before he moves.
Absolutely.
But London, I know that you're a highly competitive guy. There's no question about that. I've been talking to your coach. So it's always best on best. You want to go against the best in order to elevate your game. So I have to ask this question. Which player are you looking forward to going head-to-head against when you get to Alabama, whether it be against a teammate at Alabama or even an SEC opponent? Who do you have your eye on that you want to take on and to be your best self?
I have my eye on. I hope he goes to the NFL, but I want to go against Tyler Booker.
Oh,
okay.
Best on best.
Say me.
London, can I help you out?
Yes, sir.
In the business, what Justin did was to set you up.
No, I didn't. Not at
your
all.
answer-
Not at all.
It sounded like I was calling him out, but I'm not really.
The answer that you want to give is whoever lines up against me, I'm gonna go against them. But now Book looking for you.
that was not my intention, London, at all. I figured it would be taken that way, but no, best on best. How do I get improvement? Right. So I have to ask you, who's that guy that you want to go against to be your best self? And that's the great answer, actually. I'm not into controversy unlike the other people here.
Hey, London.
You walk on campus, own it, baby.
Right.
And you pick out the biggest and the baddest, and you give them the best you got, baby.
Right.
And hey, whatever gonna happen. Hey, don't back down from nothing. That's always been my motto.
Marvin setting you up too.
From the day I walked on campus, I ain't back down from nothing.
Hey, London, well, really, put this, write this down. Never forget this. When you're doing your huddles and stuff, because you got access to your huddle accounts right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Break all your season plays up into first down, second down, third down plays. Break them all down, and then see like how certain people operated on 1st and 10 versus 1st and 5, second and 8, or versus second and less than 5. third, third and plus, 7, or third, and less than 5. Like the plays change, cadences change, player stances change, depending on certain times of the game. Like, so you can get a tilt on things, 2 minute. Nobody fucking running the ball unless they, like they pass. So now I can get off, in that time, first, a team is passing first down, second, when it's second and long, I'm getting off. I'm not trying to run. These things I would have known, so it could help you forget having those stars and be a star and be able to identify plays that stars identify, knowing when they could take advantage of a play.
That and understanding certain simple keys to add to what Adrian was saying. If the running back is 1-1 with the quarterback behind him, it's potential for screens and draws. If he's beside the quarterback or in front of the quarterback, it takes away a lot of things. Understanding the tight ends on the ball, off the ball, if he's covered up. There's so many little small keys that'll give you added advantage if you take the time to learn them and what they mean.
All right, real quick. Our time with him is coming to a close. I want to do a quick round robin. So, guys, I'm going to pass the baton. Y'all ask him a quick question. Start with Steven, then Coach G.V. Dixon, then down to Marvin, and then we got Adrian, and I'll finish it up.
So right now, London, who is your favorite Bama player right now on this defensive line?
Oh, it has to be dang it, I forgot his name. I only know Tim.
Tim Keenan.
Yes, sir.
He's a friend of our show, man. He's part of our family.
Yes, sir.
What number are you going to wear when you get to Bama?
It really doesn't matter, but I would like 51, but it really doesn't matter to me.
Being from the state of Mississippi, with all those institutions there, why Alabama?
I chose Alabama because I had a lot of colleges told me I would have been a starter there, but I think I need to learn the playbook more, get my body developed. So I wanted to play against the best, and I'm at the best. So Alabama is the best. So I want to play against the best, and who will develop me to come to the next level, which is the NFL. That's
a great answer. Adrian?
I don't have much to ask you. I'm gonna holler at you when we get off here, though.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Adrian wants to straight to business.
Get ready. He's going to be there at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
He got that big TJ left in him.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one song to describe your game, what would it be?
If I had one song to the Beast Mode.
Okay. Love it. So have you had a chance to experience any of the food in Tuscaloosa quite yet? Have you had a chance to kind of explore? Because this is kind of setting up my next question, depending on how you answer.
No, not really, but I do want to hear some spots that I need to go try.
Okay.
He's trying to wait. Don't be trying to get him. Listen,
right? I'm trying to.
No. He can have a cheat meal. One cheat meal.
Listen, 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce is around 26 grams of carbs. I'm not gonna do this to this man. He's trying to get right, Justin. Stop that. You don't need to be going over there.
Okay. When you actually have your moment, you can actually have a cheat meal to, celebrate a victory over Auburn or LSU, or holding up that natty. I definitely recommend going to Archibald's and Woodrow's, the best ribs in Tuscaloosa.
Just remember, 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce is 26 grams of carbs. I'm gonna let that sink in.
There's always that guy on the panel, Smoke. That's your former teammate right there, man.
That's
that
my
man
brother,
trying to stay right, baby.
Hey, that's my brother, but sometimes you gotta leave him at home.
I'm not gonna derail you. I'm supporting the dream.
Yes, sir.
London, man, we are so honored to have you on with us tonight, and we definitely love to have you back on throughout the season if that's all right, and kind of get updates as far as your progress goes. I'm excited to have you. I'm sure the rest of my guys on this panel and then the people who are watching at home are equally as excited, if not more. And talking to your coach, the things that really stood out to me is that you are very process driven and you're about the long-term gain, not about short-term like NIL, just a lot of things that are thrown at athletes today. And it's really refreshing to hear about an up-and-comer who's motivated by the right things. You got a high football IQ. You understand the why behind what you do. You're not just going out there just because that's what you're told to do or instructed to do. You get what the ultimate climax is going to be. You understand the roles that are being fulfilled. So I'm really excited about what you're going to do. And listen, you're talking about long-term, about developing, so on and so forth. But I fully expect, based on what we've heard today and what we've seen on film, that you're going to be an immediate impact. I'm just going to go ahead and put that blessing on you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Before you go, if you would, tell the folks how they can find you on social media. And then if they're in the Mississippi area, when your first game is, so they can come check you out.
My first game is August the 17th against Heritage Academy, and it's in Flowood. And my Instagram is L0ND0_.
That's what's up. You kind of cut out just a little bit. When did you say your first game was? And where?
August 17th at Flowood at Hartfield Academy.
Okay. Well, I'll be there
every year, don't they, Mike? Man.
Well, we start early. We start a little earlier than everybody else.
That's okay. Hey, bring on football. We're excited about it. But yeah, man, thank you again, brother. We're excited about what God has for you this year. And then when you finally touch down in Tuscaloosa, we'll see you there for 3, maybe 4 years. I'm sure you'll be in the NFL sooner. But hey, either way, we're going to cherish the moments. But thank you again, brother, and roll tide.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Roll tide.
Welcome to the family.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
Welcome
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. How was the break?
Oh, man.
Well, folks, our star, Marvin Constant, has to depart. He's got a meeting with the mayor of Atlanta, so we greatly appreciate his time with us.
Big man moves.
If you would, before you jump off, tell the folks how they can find you on social media, and then what you got coming up.
Constant45 is my Instagram. Constant451 is my Twitter. Again, what I got coming up, I'm just living life, man. I'm just here. I'm along for the ride right now, baby. You ever got any questions that you want to talk about anything? You want to talk about fruit, vacation? You want to talk about the weather, man? Just send me a message. Hey, I'm here for it.
The
baby.
weather.
Yeah. Hey, y'all have a great night and roll tide.
Yeah, roll tide.
Travel safe, Mook.
Hey, did he really just say the weather?
I think he did, man. He wants to make
That's it.
sure all the bases are covered. He's very approachable. So,
Bro,
Adrian,
like I told you, he's my brother, but leave him at home at sometimes, bro. You can't go everywhere.
before we do any more football talk, Adrian, I got to put this out here. All the Bama fans know about the Big Bama Anthem. And if you haven't heard it, something's seriously wrong, but you're going to learn about it, and it's going to be a part of your life. And in a major way, we saw it at SEC Media Day. It's already filtering through campus. Adrian, if you would, tell the folks a little bit about it, how it came about. Yeah, just the whole story about it, brother, because it's catching on. It's the new trend, and we're excited to have it.
Appreciate you. Well, I'm business, like business. That's like business administration, marketing. That's what my major was. So I sold shirts when I was at the university. You don't know, but the people who know because they probably still had a shirt that says Hubzilla on it. Hub father, Hub sacks, Hub a dubba do. I was selling like when I graduated, I opened my little graduation little cap gown up, and they had Hubzilla. It was on the front of the newspaper. So marketing has always been a thing for me. Some people call it when you expressing yourself sometimes and people don't understand you, then it may get I didn't talk a lot, so when I expressed myself, people spoke for me. So sometimes it's not received all the way. But what how the Big Bama Anthem came about. Well, first and foremost, there was something called a Big Bama speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what this is, the Big Bama speaker. It's a speaker, and that I created from the inside out. I engineered this. I'm getting this mass produced. I already have a deal with the actual university. It's also in all the supply. It'll be in all the supply stores. I'm not going to release that date because there's a lunch party that's going to, be coming with that as well too. So I have a partnership with the actual school. So you guys can go do your research and figure out how many actual athletes are in partnership with the university. You come back and you let me know. So this is how Big Bama Anthem even started. Big Bama Anthem doesn't happen if the Big Bama speaker doesn't happen. And when you turn the speaker on, this is what it sounds like.
Connected.
So it's going to have the actual script A on it and the script A on the hat. This is for an NIL deal. So there you go for that. So I'm also teaching players, how to maintain ownership as well too. So there's more, where that comes from. But Rare Spliff, he's actually the artist who's on the actual. And you guys can go to www.bigbamaspeaker.com and you can go register for the newsletter and get all the updates and see when it will be released. But Rare Spliff is the artist on the Big Bama Anthem. And Red Spriffline, we went to school at Alabama at the same time, and I used to see him. I was always scouting, just how people I got scouted. I was always trying to figure out, who's up and coming. That's where I would go to I wouldn't go to the parties that, how everybody else would go. I was trying to see what's going on, like see the trend. And I stayed in contact with Red Spliff, and maybe a month ago, we always talking, and I would call him, and I was playing him some music, how I always do, because that's my therapy. My therapy is music. And I was going through sounds, and he was in that little doom, doom. Like it's like a sound that you hear, and then it's like do 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 do, Big Bama, like you're hearing in the track. And I'm going through these sounds, and he's like, go back to that one sound, go back to it. And I'm like, you want me to go back to this sound? And he was like, yeah. He's like, he started saying like Big Bama, and I was like, hold on, what are you doing? Like, and he started whispering things and like, just started kind of like mumbling things. And I said, look, bro, I'm about to send you this beat. Don't call me back until you got to whatever you got in your head. Don't call me back until you recorded that or whatever. Put it down. So he sends me, the track back, and it says sliding through the city. It's through the city with the yellow hammer. And I was like, whoa, interesting. And then he said he can get Smokey for a volunteer, and I was like, whoa, Smokey for a volunteer, and I was like, hold on. So I called him and I was like, hey, you talking about the mascot? Are you talking about when we smoke cigars? He was like, that's what I'm saying. So it's different, like, it's different. It's like hidden gems inside of the track, and there's no cursing in the track. I told him I don't want any curse words. I want this to be able to touch everybody. Like that's the whole, like when you're in that stadium, you're not hearing too many songs, or if any songs with curse words. I need the Bama community to fall in love with the new era, and this is how we're going to get them to engage, with doing so. We're going to introduce a new fandom speaker, which is the Big Bama speaker. We're not changing the identity. We're just elevating the fandom love for the university. Because one thing we all know, being in Alabama, when I was there with Coach Saban, we made the fans bored of winning. People were leaving our games, because we were winning so much, not because we were losing. So making people fall all the way back in love with it. And I know that's what Coach DeBoer, the community, like he's bringing like the team, he's bringing a different energy to the team. The city is rallying behind Coach DeBoer as well, because they want to see him do well. Hell, we all want to see him do well. We know he's going to do well because everywhere that he's been. So when I was thinking about, Big Bama, it's like everything is, nothing's changed. We just got it better and we got more love. That's really what, that's really what's happening. People want us to they want us to kind of make ourselves small. And it's like, we Big Bama. At the end of the day, it's Big Bama. Like Bama's still what everybody bases their programs off of. I don't care how you're looking at it, it's Bama. Bama is the standard.
Man, I love that, man. Be a part of that, folks. I'm telling you, jump on the bandwagon. It's catching on, man. Thank you for bringing that. Thank you for letting us know the bio, brother. Let's get back to football. I had an interesting conversation with you. I think it was last.
Hold on. Before we get back to the Mr. Smith, did you do my favor for me?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Hey, so I did.
Okay.
And so I did. And so Milroe actually had it, the chain Big Bama.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sat there, I said, hey, Big Bama. He was like, sliding through that young hammer. I was like, oh, okay. So it's being played.
Okay, absolutely.
It's being played.
Did you record him?
I did not record him though. That's the one thing I hated. I did not record him. I did ask the question, but I did not record. And the only reason why I did not record him is as I was about to get my phone out to do it, here comes the guy saying, all right, Jay, we got to go. I'm like, hold on, man, I got the thing.
when you get a chance, when you go to the locker room, make sure we're recording them.
Okay, but I did get it out there. I just did not record, and I hated that part. But I did get it out there, so he know what it is.
So before we move on as well, there's going to be a music video. I'll let you guys. They're going to be some older players that are going to be in the video. But Roll Tide Willie is already confirmed to be in the video. One of the parts are going to. What's that?
Me too. I want to be in the video.
So we're going to be shooting parts of it August 30th and 31st. And then we're going to have a later date that we're going to also we're going to tell people that we're going to be shooting as well. We're going to break it down. But we're going to have, a Heisman will be in the video. I'm not going to tell you what Heisman is going to be in the video. It's going to be real. It's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a real big thing. So we're involved in everything that has to do with this Big Bama. If you're not from Bama, if you're not attached to it, everything's got to do with Bama, Big Bama. So
that's where it starts.
But go ahead, Mr. Justin. I'm sorry.
All right. We're going to get back to football. But before we do all that, you really can't get into football without a title towel. Folks, the football season never truly ends. We know that as Bama fans. What better way to show your fandom than having a title towel? Go to whitwellsports.com today and buy yours. Enter the promo code STANDARD. You get a nice little discount courtesy of your family here at the Bama Standard Network. Let's go ahead and get them all ordered and get them ready for the opening kickoff. It's just around the corner. Again, folks, grab you a title towel today at whitwellsports.com. So, let's talk a little bit about football, man. You definitely were one of them dudes, Adrian. You and I had a conversation, I think, was it last week or week before, and we talked about all the different, responsibilities you have. We throw around the term skill player. Like, we think about wide receivers, we think about kick returners, things like that. But we don't really take into account what you as an edge rusher are all we're accountable for. And you kind of gave me that wow moment when you said at one play, you're stopping the rush. The next play, you're out trying to cover Odell Beckham. And then next play, you're trying to stop somebody like Johnny Manziel. Can you kind of give us a little bit into that? Let the folks know exactly, what all you were responsible for and how your position really was a skill position.
Well, I was the last that played that skill position like that. The other guys got to benefit from teaching tape of I played the jack, I played the buck, I played the Sam, I played the money. At times I played middle, when we had to have a dual spy on Johnny Manziel. And then I also played in the middle because I was also an extension of CJ Moses' communication. People's voices are different, every to project different ways. How many times, what was the DN who's with the Texans right now? I'm drawing a blank.
Will Anderson.
How many times did you see Will Anderson go out and guard a receiver?
Not a lot.
So was he an outside linebacker or was he a DN?
DN.
Okay.
Pure DN.
Playing in the jack position, and things like that. So with that, he played a hell of a position. But as far as when you talk about someone like being able to, I had to go adjust to Odell Beckham, being able to guard multiple positions and having the IQ to understand the defense well enough to where you could understand where your help was, if you had over the top help with safeties, if you had to play the run, when you could take your chances and things like that. And then also, having like a keen eye to know when to kind of be a general at times as well. And know, like, one thing that I just appreciated when I played at Alabama is it wasn't about making a big play. The big plays are going to come to you, like, if you did your job. And if you knew multiple jobs, then you were going to find yourself on the field. Like the safety at Alabama, that's not talked about, enough, but that's the quarterback. But it's a quarterback for a reason. Things shift and the safety has to come down, and they have to kind of like, audible and adjust off the defenses and things like that. It's no different, than the Buck. The Buck has to find certain players to go line up, similar to like how the Stars have to find certain players. The Star, the Buck, you have the money. I could go on, but it's all this stuff came from preparation. And, Coach Smart and Glenn Schumann and Coach Sal, best of the bit, especially Coach Sal, Sal Sinceri. He was able to break the game down to where he could coach. If you was a complex learner, he could coach you for that. If he was a simple learner, he could coach you for either way he was going to get, to the actual main thing. And I never forget, he made life so easy for me one time because I couldn't understand what a wall flat drop was. And I was thinking, like, I'm an immature, I'm a young, I'm 18 years old. So I'm thinking wall flat, like, okay, I got to keep everything in this wall and wall everything back in. But he would just made it simple. He said, Hub, if there's two men outside of you, go find a hook three. The hook three could be the running back in the 3 spot or be the tight end on the other side of the line. He said, Hub, if you don't know about that, just count 1, 2, and then go whoever the third person, that's who you're dropping off of. If you got one receiver out there, then you're dropping straight back and you're looking for the first person that comes back to you, whether it's the running back in the flats or the tight end coming back this way. So that's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he was able to teach football for dummies. Well, Coach Smart, Glenn Schumann did a great job of helping the young guys learn in the summertime because he was a GA. He was a GA back then. And then Coach Smart was able to put you in positions that you thrived at in practice, and you did it so many times, so he would gain your confidence. So by the time you get in the game, he's sending you in the game like you going like you're a missile, like you wanted a this like secret missiles. Like the first time that people saw me in the game seriously was when CJ Mosley dislocated his elbow against Arkansas, and that moment I was down on the end of the bench talking to my friends, and Nick Perry, and some of my other buddies, and the timeout happens, and I hear Coach Smart say Hubbard, but I'm like, you're not calling me. Like, mind you, I'm playing behind Dante Hightower, Courtney Upshaw, Jarrell Harris. So I'm not thinking about playing any regular, but also in pass rush. Now, pass rush, I was second, so I was next up, and CJ went down. And Nick Perry says, "Hey, Hub, they call you." I said, "Huh?" And so I turn around and I jog over to Coach Smart. And he was like, Hubbard, he's like, hey, he said, we're gonna put you in, you're gonna go in and you're gonna play the Buck. Dante's gonna move to the to the MAC. And the MAC was his middle linebacker. And I was like, okay. And then I'm like, man, coach, I gotta figure out where my helmet is. He was like, son, your helmet is on top of your head. And then so then I go in the game and I'm talking to Dante's like, hey, Hub, you gonna play CJ's position. I'm gonna play the Bucks. I'm like, hold on, Coach Smart just told me I was gonna play your position. You gonna play CJ's position. So now I'm like, dang, I don't know the MAC position. I just know the Buck position. But that's when I learned I need to know all these positions because these things could change that quick. Like Coach Smart had trust to put me in the game at the Buck position, which was Dante's position. But Dante, no, that's the position to make all the plays and stuff like that. But Dante was like, look, you're going to play the MAC. I'm going to play the Buck. And so when I got my hit on Tyler Wilson, literally, I didn't know if you go back and watch it, I didn't know where to line up. I'm literally running back and forth across the formation because I don't know where to go. And I'm next to Mark Barron, and Mark Barron just happens to push me. And Coach Sal used to always tell me, Hub, when in doubt, just run down the middle of the defense. And literally, Mark Barron pushed me in the middle of the whole defense, like the offense. I literally had a straight line around at Tyler Wilson, and he threw a touchdown that play. But it was just it was wild. But you definitely want to make sure that you're understanding all the positions and how they work off each other, and that's how I was able to play on the field, as long as I did.
Absolutely, Steven.
So Hub, man, when I look at Sal Sunseri, I call him the Italian godfather when I look at Coach Sal. But when you look at between Coach Sal and Kirby Smart, in your opinion, which one was the most intense? Because when Coach Sal is out on the practice field, he intense with it. But then when Kirby's out there, Kirby was intense with it too.
Yeah.
But who carried that passion, that torch a bit more in terms of that level of intensity when you were out there?
Different men, same intensity. Like, that Coach Sal is maybe 15, maybe 20 years older than Coach Smart. So they have a different type of intensity. Like, Coach Sal is more reserved and more intimate. Coach Smart is intimate, but he's boisterous. A lot more. But he's the leader of the defense, so he has to be that, right? Coach Sal's not responsible for the cornerbacks and the DBs and those people. Coach Sal, he was responsible for the outside linebackers, so he gonna talk to them. He's not responsible. So it's like you don't overstep your coaching boundaries.
Smoke.
Now you said you basically played every position on the defense except in the back end and the secondary.
Absolutely.
Did you feel like you never really mastered one position because you played everything else, and why?
Well, I truly believe they played me where they knew my talent was best, suited to play. When it comes to bucks and stuff like that, I was really good at pass rushing. What you guys don't know is I played 33% less plays my last year, and if you go watch the Auburn game, you'll see me being taken out the game. If you go watch, I had, a few key stops on that kick six game, and I was taken out in very key moments my last year. I was at the University of Alabama. Not going to really get into that. We're just going to address the elephant in the room at a later date.
So
Nice.
Adrian, just to address the elephant in the room, I scouted you and evaluated you from when you were at Bama, and I also scouted you in the pros when you were at Green Bay. I was at your first preseason game when you played against Tennessee. Remember that preseason game?
I didn't play that game.
You played. I remember you warming up. The Titans?
Oh yeah, I warmed up, but I didn't play.
Exactly. Were you hurt?
Not at all.
And that's what we had to talk about. Because I said I went to that game specifically to eval you because I saw you at the Senior Bowl. And you were one of the first juniors, like Red Sox juniors, to play in the Senior Bowl when they made that rule up, because you were a senior in the classroom, but not on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do some more research on you because we didn't know if you were coming out. And a lot of the info that we were getting from Bama was, like you just said, up and down, up and down. So I went out to that Tennessee game to watch you play. And I came back and was like, my man didn't even play a snap.
Yep. And then
warmed up.
Following week had 2 sacks and 12 plays against St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams, yep.
So when I had my opportunities, I did well. I wish my last year I would have pass rushed a lot more. I'm at the University of Alabama. I go look at what's his name, Greg Robinson from Auburn. I put up
You put work in against Greg.
Everybody big that Lael Collins for LSU. You remember Zach Mettenberger limping off the field? It was
that was you. I remember it well.
We'll talk about the 4-for-1 stop in Death Valley to get an offensive ball back. Like all the major 4-for-1 stops. There's a point of contact right there, and go back and look at who's the point of contact. I'm not gassing myself up. I'm just this is the truth. Like sometimes you just don't see it in that moment because of a lot of other things that are overshadowing that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw it, and yeah, like you said, against LSU, if you weren't making a play, you were disruptive enough to shut it down. And the same thing against Georgia. They really didn't know how to stop you. It was just amazing watching your hand placement and just how violent you were with your hands. They were stunned and lost. It was just a thing of beauty, like we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no, it's everything about football. And I'll let you guys know. I never had dreams of playing pro ball. The only reason I went to Alabama is because they were helping my sister, with school. I didn't go there. That was my first year playing. I was a basketball player. Everything has always been about team for me and how I can, it's my team is my family. Like we win the championship game in Miami. I'm in the stands celebrating with my team on the field celebrating. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Like I got to go show respect to my team first and then come back to my second team, here. But if you go look, I got photos in the stands. Guess who was sitting next to my guess who was sitting next to my family in the stands? I'll let you know, Sal Sinceri. Remember when he took the job at Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's that Coach Sal Sinceri, the person he really raised, he showed in the football terms, he raised me in that environment, made me a lot better, made me understand the game. And he wasn't it was hard loving, but you had to recognize it was that in that moment. But I could recognize that in those moments because my dad was a drill sergeant. I knew what hard love looked like. It wasn't no soft or getting in my feelings. It's somebody coaching me hard and they wanting the best from me. It's just like, okay, Coach Sal, he want the best for you, and he gonna push you, and he gonna push you to the point of where you're gonna want to break. And when you want to break, that's when your push through is, because now you have to worry about, okay, I know that I'm not gonna break now.
Right. All right. So we're quickly approaching fall camp. It's just a week away. Kind of talk about that 2012 fall camp. You're defending national champions. What's the mindset then?
Y'all need to go do some more research. You need to go do some more research. You should have seen what I put out after we won the first championship in New Orleans. That night, said we're going to win it again next year. It's not, if you can do it once, you can do it again. If you can do it 1 second, you can do it the next second. These are just things that follow. We're the champs, so we know what it takes. We are Preston Dial. Remember Preston Dial?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's saying he wasn't there when we won the first. I don't believe he was there when we won the championship in New Orleans, but he used to always say, if God told you if you ran these 110 sprints 100% all the time, you'll win the championship at the end of the season, would you do it? Would you do
Absolutely.
it? So when we won a championship in the 2011 season, that's what we bought in. That's what we trained hard, and we know I'll be hanging out with my guys at UGA because I'm from Georgia. They had optional summer workouts. You think they have optional summer workouts with Kirby Smart?
Nope.
Okay, that's why they won the championships, because the culture and things have are changed. They don't have many players, the better play. Just the mentality that it's all about for me in those moments. Like if you can repeat stuff, at a high level, you got to be able to, in order to be the best, you got to compete at a high level. Because some days you're not going to be 100%. Hell, most days game days you're not going to be 100%. But can your 85% turn to 87% during game time? Or does your 85% go to 75% because you're complaining about how you're feeling that day? People make decisions based off really what they want to do in life. And that's why this football is a game of life, because the people who make those decisions to quit are the same people who kind of have a tougher life, because adversity, they didn't respond to adversity, when they were younger. So then the consequence wasn't how it is going to be when you get older. So understanding your consequences if you don't do it right. There's consequences in this life. And if you don't really know what the value of them are, what the value of the consequences are, then it's going to be tough to live life.
Right. Now, I'll ask this question, and I'll pass it down to Smoke and then to Stephen. Bama now is kind of a different situation. They're not defending a championship. They're defending their name. People are saying Bama ain't Bama no more. So with that being said, what should the mindset of this fall camp look like for these guys?
You're talking to me, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't think nothing's changing. We're not worried about outside noise. That's just not a thing. everyone's gonna always talk. Why they talk about you? They're talking about you still. Like, you must be still the standard. Don't nobody talk about Auburn, do they?
No, literally nobody.
No one's talking. I'm just being truthful. Like, no one's talking about Oklahoma. They're supposed to have all this money and all this stuff. Yeah, bring that money. It's like when you put your bet down, my team versus your team. Like, we're gonna take that up too. You know, like, we're gonna pick up what you put down, and we're gonna keep it moving. We worried about Bama. You know, like, we're worrying about executing every play. That's all we're doing. You know, it's never going to ever be about the other team. Like, I'll never forget Coach Saban shutting off our ESPN channels when we were in the Fountain Blue, when we were in Miami. We didn't watch none of that. People don't know what they're talking about. They're not even here. How they going to tell us what's going on? They're not here. How they going to tell you what's going on at quarterback? Y'all know who Austin Mack is? So get ready for him out the Milrow. Like this, you know, Coach DeBoer is he recruiting like a monster right now. The O-line that he's bringing in.
Well,
you know what I mean? We're not going to talk about the DBs that he's also targeting and bringing in. The linebackers. Nothing's changing.
Quarterback.
Nothing.
DBs.
It's
cold summer.
and guess why players are coming to Alabama? Because Alabama is still what?
The standard.
The standard. You know, people know, like, you know, we're going to lose some here and there, but it's still the standard. You go look at that team right now, it's guys who are hungry, waiting, you know, like, they're waiting. Watch when that first kickoff happens. Watch how many people get their hands knocked off because, like Coach DeBoer, one thing that he does really well is special teams. Watch what happens. You think it's a game? You want to talk about he's bringing speed. Man, people worried about the wrong thing. You better be worried. They better be worried about Bama with this different type of speed, because how I view it is Coach Kiffin on steroids.
That's why I asked the question, because I knew that kind of response was about to come out. Go ahead, Stephen.
I'll say this. And I was down there in Dallas. I was down there at the Omni. I was down there at the hotel for media days. Coach DeBoer was the smoothest coach to take that. It's like he belongs here. He was the smoothest coach to walk up there and straight up say, this is what we're going to do. This is our philosophy. Here's how we're going to execute it. This is what we're going to do. I don't see a change even. I'll say this. I think this defense with Kane Womack is going to be crazy, because I listened to a press conference with Kane Womack. Kane was like, look, sacks are cool. Pass breakers are cool, but I want them turnovers. I want to take the ball away every single time I'm out there. That defense is going to be better than what a lot of folks expect. I think that secondary is going to be special.
Absolutely.
I think that secondary, I think Malachi Moore is going to go off. I think Keon Saab is going to go. I'll say this. I think that boy Damani Jackson. I think that boy Damani Jackson's going to have one heck of a year.
You know that, and he's a key guy. You know, like I've seen. There's a reason why he came. You know, he wanted to come get coached. You know, by the best. Wanted to come to the best. But Damani definitely somebody. But it's the whole defense. Like, watch what type of pressure the D line is able to create, so those turnovers can happen. Yeah, you know, like allowing the actual guys to be able, you know, the quarterback to make, you know, quick decisions. But that's the key. You know, I looked at Coach, you know, 3-4 to 3-4. Care how, you know, like, you know, whether it's Husky Jack, whatever you want to call it, you know, Husky Star, whatever you want to call it, you know, you just have to be prepared to be set up in traps when you're going against great teams. And Alabama, like, it's you're just getting better. That's, you know, when they talk about you like you're getting worse, you're really getting better. Because you can't, let's be honest, who got 18 national championships?
Bama.
We got, you know, and that's not even a few that accounted for, which would be 23 if we were counting all of them. You know, so people forget the stats, so sometimes you need to remind them, all right? And the one thing with Alabama is we don't need to remind you. Like, y'all going to have to play, and y'all going to be like, you know what the narrative is going to be? They're supposed to win.
They always move that goalpost further.
Here go. Well, I had Bama in the preseason. No, you didn't.
You didn't have us in the Independence Bowl.
And mark my word, we're going to be seeing Bama in the championship.
Woo.
You know, you can't keep up what you can't compare. Like, you can't do it. You can't do it. Like, it's too much. You don't know. And why you gotta love Coach DeBoer and what's going on? Yeah, you got. I love Walt Brock, who's in charge of like their production and the media for their team and stuff. But absolutely, and one thing that I've noticed is you're seeing just enough, but you're not seeing enough. There's the mystique that you're not seeing. You're not seeing certain things, and Alabama's always been great at keeping what they want to do and how they're going to pressure people and beat people out of the media. They're really great at that. So when you find out, the worst person, think about when Coach Kiffin was there. Y'all seen so many different things, like, so, game that all this, you're like, wow, like he's using all the talent. And Coach DeBoer knows exactly. He's from the West Coast, so he's about to use, he's going to use all that talent as well. And he's got some guy. You already know there's going to be some guys. They're going to make plays in certain positions that you're going to be like, how did that player get there? So the coaching, the IQ of Coach DeBoer, and who do you think brought Coach DeBoer in here? Who do you really think brought him here?
There you go.
Do you think that it's just a random, hey, we're going to go get Coach DeBoer? Who do you really think brought him in here?
Chestnut checkers.
Like, do you think they made that decision without Coach, they can talk about it as much as they want. Because Coach Saban, what he wants the most for the team, Coach Saban is he's not like a selfish guy. He just wants his team to win. Mm. He wants his team to win. And when he leaves, why do you think he's still a part of the team? He still wants them to win. So look, hey guys, I'm not the best fit for this job anymore, but I'm going to put somebody in position who I feel is really fit for the job. I'm gonna still be around and I'm gonna help, but this is the guy who's gonna lead you guys. So that coming from the chief, if I'm a player there, that would have been enough for me to be like, okay, I'm cool here.
Man, that's powerful stuff. Before we shift to our final topic, I want to highlight some super chats real quick. Jimmy Clay, $50. See y'all soon. Roll Tide, brother. We greatly appreciate that generosity. And then William Morris, Big Bill from New York, $5. Roll Tide, friends. And then Don Parker's got $5 himself. Time for talking is almost done, and time for the pads to start popping. One more thing, Erica B for president, Stephen M. Smith for vice president, 2024.
Why are people putting me in the vice president chair, man?
All right. It's funny how everything kind of ties in. We originally were going to go through a round robin tonight of players we wanted to highlight. A couple of our panelists are not here, but we still got some people who can bring the info. I'm going to start with Stephen and Smith, then go down to Smoke. I will give my player, and Adrian, I'll let you give yours if you have a guy that you're wanting to take a look at this year a little bit more closely. But Stephen, who's your guy that fans need to be a little bit more aware of going into fall camp, but also the 2024 season?
I'm going to go Jihad Campbell at linebacker. I think Campbell's in for a huge season. Last year, he broke out a bit, young man from New Jersey, where he had like 66 tackles, had, few of those for loss, had a big interception against Mississippi State, fumble return, touchdown against Tennessee. He did a lot last year, and he's playing in that sting backer position, which is basically that Reuben Foster spot from 2015, where he's running around, lateral quickness, blowing stuff up, coverage ability. He will be sent on blitzes. This is where Campbell wants to play it right here. He's put on muscle this offseason. He's trained his butt off this whole summer. I think he and Lawson will work in a tremendous tandem together. But I think Campbell is in for a monster fall camp because he can do it all.
I love it. I love it. Great play.
Well said. So I'm going to go with our left tackle, Caden Proctor. Left, went to Iowa for a little bit and came right back. Like, when a lot of people looked at Caden last year, they saw a young, true freshman playing ball, slightly overweight, but what you saw was a confident, firm player in the run game and a smooth operator as a pass blocker. Now, at times you got overpowered. At times you saw guys that were shorter than him dip beneath him and get sacks. But he only gave up 12 sacks, 3 penalties. And what us Bama fans and analysts got to understand is, as an 18-year-old, he came out there and played one of the most toughest positions to play. And at times he looked flawless. And if you went from Texas to Michigan, you saw growth. You saw a young man starting to change his body, started playing under control, understood where and how to get to different players, and he just got better. Now, if you see his body now, he's changed. Stephen M., you said it earlier. He's lost some weight. Foot quickness has increased. Confidence has increased. You're going to see a better version in the next one up at left tackle. Confident, smooth, not back player. That left side of the offensive line, they're going to road grade people, and the left side is going to fully protect. Caden Proctor is my guy that I want to highlight. Welcome back, and way to stick around with the Bama Standard.
Woo, I love that. I love that. I want to highlight Jaheim Otis. This is a guy that I think some Bama fans may have forgotten about, and you really shouldn't. We saw what he did his freshman year. He came in unexpectedly, started wrecking shop, kind of reminded us a little bit of Quinnen Williams. But this past season, he battled injuries, so he wasn't able to quite get to that level that we were expecting. Well, he's healthy. He's healed up. He's at the right body weight. He's added some muscle, and this man is about to be elite. Expect what you saw his freshman year. Go ahead and double that. He's going to make life a living hell for offensive linemen. He's going to be pushing people out of the way. He's going to be putting people in the dirt. I'm excited to see what he can do. And this will be his NFL year for him, and I fully expect him to get the first round draft grade because of what he does on the field. And what makes things better is he's going to have Tim Keenan with him as well. So having a Batman and Robin kind of dynamic duo thing going on, it always makes you a little bit better. I'm excited about Jaheim. Welcome back, folks. I know you forgot about him. You really shouldn't. You're going to be hearing his name called a lot this season. Adrian, who do you have your eye on, brother?
Justice.
Elaborate, sir. I'm ready to hear this.
You started seeing him a lot towards the end of the year last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw him a lot in the bowl game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who else won a Heisman the first time that you saw them a lot was in their first, like, remember what I was
Hulu, Derrick Henry. What you got for me?
Mark Ingram.
Ooh.
You know, like he center of gravity, has good vision, doesn't go down on first contact. I know who he trains with, Joe Siedelman, like as far as, you know, making sure his body is, you know, up to par. Watch out. You know, I'm not gonna speak too much about it, but you know, Justice, he's been waiting his turn. He's been patiently. You got to respect somebody who's patiently waited their turn, because, you know, like what's that song? It's about 50 Cent. I've been patiently waiting for a track to explode on. That one? Yeah. You know, like he's been patiently waiting, and it can get tough, you know, because it can get tough when you have to wait behind people who are just understand the system. You know, like I had to wait behind. I'm telling you, Justice, that's my guy, but I'm also telling you why I appreciate him as well too. I had to wait behind Dante Hightower and Courtney Upshaw, and had no problem with it. Didn't run, wasn't running anywhere, you know. And you got to learn. And now I get to sit back and see where other people went wrong, and see, okay, Justice is gonna get to see. I ran this zone, this inside zone, this stretch zone. I see. I would have cut this right here. I would try to cut it when I get my chance. You know, you get to see and figure out where, you know, how you would move. Justice, you know, is a guy to watch, and he's also a guy to watch on special teams too.
Man, I love that. All right, folks, we're starting to wind things down. Adrian actually got a question from the audience for you. What was your most hated team that you played against at Alabama?
And y'all had to know, football wasn't my thing. I didn't have it, you know. I didn't walk out there with that on. I walked out there, you know, like I said earlier, it was more about representing, for my family. I wasn't thinking about who I hated playing against the most. I didn't really understand the Auburn and Alabama rivalry. I do now, but it's not really. I'm a basketball person. It's not really. I don't even dislike a certain team or hate certain teams. I just really would like to beat everybody's ass that I line up in front of. And when those moments present themselves, like we're in combat in those moments. There's no teams that I hate, but I'm definitely not going to let you dominate me though. That's just not going to happen. So that my mentality was, if you were here, you were the problem for this day.
Man, all kind of sound bites tonight. I'm enjoying this. You're speaking about moments since we're coming to a close. Adrian, what was your favorite moment at Alabama? Can be a game, can be a play. What do you have for us?
My favorite moment. Well, I come from, Georgia. And I always said, if I ever get a chance at Alabama to play in that doggone dome, I'm going to bring the roof off that thing. That was one of it was a moment because before the game, me and Xavier Dixon, I think that Dickerson, we're playing music in the locker room, and Coach Saban really doesn't allow that loud music and stuff like that. And there was something about the focus though that was here. Like, like it wasn't, these guys weren't not focused. It was like when Coach Saban walks by, he has like a thing, and all the players know, because we've seen people get benched by this as well too. He goes around the locker room for the game and he shakes everybody's hands and looks you in your eyes. I've seen him bench players doing this too, checking everybody, checking like their temperature and things, because he knows he's been doing this for a long time. He knows who's ready, who knows who's not ready. Mm-hmm. So this day there was a song called "All the Way Turned Up." It was like a popular song back then, and Xavier came playing on the phone, and I was like, "Okay, we here, Xavier. Like we here. Like this the
all the way turned."
Yeah. Like, hey, they'll play that Roscoe.
Like seriously, and Coach Saban, like he literally, like he just walked by. It probably bothered him, but it was not enough for him to be like, turn that off. Like, like I've seen him tell guys to take wristbands and stuff off, because he knows those guys weren't even focused during the week of practice, and you want to look pretty on the field. So playing in the dome was it was a moment. I'll give you the second one. Was 4-1 stop against Tennessee that no one really talks about when we played. We used to beat Tennessee. I don't really care about how big the moments were. Like in the winning, I cared about they were at certain times being able to change the outcome of like the momentum, because the Tennessee game I played with one eye because I had a migraine, and I had oracle migraines where I lose my vision and my lips go numb. I played the whole game like that. I played the whole game with just one eye on the left, my right eye on the left side. That's why when I batted the ball down and it dropped right here, I couldn't see it because I couldn't see out the eye the whole game. So just going through things that people don't know about, those are battles within yourself that you have to, overcome. Those are little small battles. So the big battles that people see, there's always the smaller ones that, that you're really dealing with, the whole tight end of you. I'm just going to walk through, my, the events that I really like, because it's just not one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about the LSU, like the fourth down stop to give the go look at these games, and when TJ Yeldon fumbled the ball, I'm running on the field clapping, saying we're gonna get y'all the ball back because this is what we do in practice. Like these are how can you ever be a great teammate when somebody can do wrong and you clap and they know they did wrong? Do you think they want everybody else jumping on it? We're a championship guy. We're a next play type of people. So just that small, like little detail clapping, he needs to see that. He needs to see that. And it doesn't mean anything, but then he fumbled and he see clapping. He knows what he did wrong, but then he also get this game when it's going, pass for the screen as well too. So you don't know how things really touch people, and they probably don't know it in that moment, as well. So you have to be able to identify your teammates. These are the things that are overlooked. It's also, this CJ Mosley is one of the most quiet. He was one of the most quiet guys at the university. All right, cool. We play Johnny Manziel. Look, I'll help get the plays out because Johnny Manziel was going real fast. They were going really fast when we played them. So, and we weren't able to get plays to our D-line. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I know they're not telling me to do this, but I know this has to be done because if our D-line's not lined up, it's going to cause a problem here. So now you understand how we came back against Texas A&M. We didn't beat them, but things changed a tremendous amount in the second half when we played Texas A&M at Denny. Like the whole second half changed because it was about communication. That's all it's ever going to be about. And then you have the kick six moment. That was a moment in itself because right before the play happened, go find Brandon Green and ask him. I hit him, and I said, "Get ready." You play Madden. We all play Madden. Remember when you first can return the field goals?
Yeah.
Like that was a thing. But I could see these things happening. I was the only defensive player on the field at that time. Go back and look. They got two guys, really a few guys. They're setting the wall up off of me. But I'm having to go cover the field like a kickoff first and then have to redirect because that's my assignment is to go cover my lane and then redirect. But by the time they knew exactly where they were going to run the ball and return the ball. They had the wall, set up. So these are just moments. It's not really the outcome, that dictates how I felt about the moments and how they were big. I was proud to be part of history. And one thing that never going to change, I could lose my rings, but when I go back to Brian Denny, I got to take my nephew. I'm telling you about a moment again. I got to take my nephew and my sister and like her husband to a game, and my sister was like, Uncle A, he's in the cement right there, on a champion's walk. You can't erase that. You cannot. You have to give respect to every person whose name is in that champion walk. I don't care. You talk about the walk-ons. We are not nothing without those walk-ons. Yeah. When we have, Alabama, we had our walk-on. Shoot, could go whoop a lot of teams like actual teams. Like I'll never forget. Like Nice Wonder, the hardest helmet I ever went against. A scout team, like a fullback, but you need those looks. You need that true contact in practice because if the first time you feel that contact is in a game, that's the problem now. It's a problem. So being able to really win within those create the moments. Like not the big moments, but the within moments.
Quick story about the kick six, and I got to run. So. My DB coach that was at Bama with me was Coach Charlie Harbison, called him Coach Cheese. And I just interviewed Gus Malzahn a few weeks ago about the kick six. And Chris Davis that returned it, Coach Cheese happened just to tap Coach Malzahn and said, put him back there. And he returned it. So after the game that happened, I said, Cheese, my wife just almost had a baby, dude, because you allowed the kick six to happen. But, man, that's a pretty cool story of you awesome being able to come back and say that again. But Coach Cheese, you out there, man. We ain't deserved that. You shouldn't have put him back.
I'm looking in the chat right now. Dario Petio says you may want to worry about your team beating Michigan before you focus on bigger teams. Well, Michigan, when the last time they won a championship last year, they lost their coach last year. When the next time you think they're gonna win again? How many championships Michigan got? So let's keep the talking minimum, Mr. What's the Petty?
He's actually responding to this Ohio State fan named Bama Killer.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
There you go.
I don't care. I'm checking it all. Hey, if it ain't about Bama, get it out of here.
Gotcha. All right. Well, as we wind things down, what we like to do is let the folks know how they can follow us outside of here, and we let our guests go last. But we'll start out with Stephen and Smith, then go to Smoke, and then Adrian, if you will, tell the folks how they can find you, and then more about Big Bama Anthem. Go ahead, Stephen.
Well, they can find me touchdownalabama.com there. Fall camp is next Wednesday. It's next week. We getting back out there. It's morning practice. The pants are popping again. The football's throwing again. The coaching staff is back out there. The players are back on the field. Next Wednesday, it happens. And I'm so excited to get back out there to see what DeBoer, Womack, these players, what they are going to do and what they're going to produce. Tuesdays, right here, Bama Standard, flagship show. Saturdays, I've been enjoying my time with JB and JT, talking Bama. That's been awesome right there. But yeah, totally looking forward to next Wednesday fall camp.
Absolutely. Speaking of next week, Stephen, I'm glad you reminded me. We got a special guest next Tuesday right here on the Bama Standard. We've had him here previously when he was being recruited by Bama. Well, now he's a freshman at Alabama playing linebacker. Sterling Dixon will be with us. So
That's my cousin. That's my cousin.
So y'all come see.
Yeah, Dixon. I'm going to claim him.
Go ahead. Prepare for that, folks.
Now, Smoke, you got to battle Steve Brown for that one, because Steve Brown call everybody his cousins.
Well, he got my last name. We got the same last name. We cousins.
All right, Smoke, since you're revealing to us your long-lost cousin, tell folks how they can find you, what you got coming up next.
Well, he ain't lost yet, Bama, so he went through the family tradition, just like Tony Dixon and I did.
All right.
You can find me on X, Coach GV Dixon, X and Instagram. Just follow me, check in. I got a lot of stuff coming out. Just get with me.
All right. Adrian, brother, we greatly appreciate everything you brought to us tonight, man. You gave some testimonies, man. I think lives were changed, and we can't thank you enough for what you brought tonight. So I applaud you, sir, for that, and I'll definitely applaud you for what you did on the field for us. Spectacular, my friend. If you would, tell the folks how they can find you on social media, what you got coming up next. And then, again, the Big Bama Anthem. It's changing lives. It's catching waves. Let's go ahead and let them know about it before we leave this place tonight.
Well, I need everyone to go follow, everyone in this chat to go follow the Instagram page, Big Bama Speaker. Everyone, go follow. And everyone also in this chat, send the Big Bama Speaker page a direct message, and everyone in here is going to get 5% off of the Big Bama Speaker, when you go follow and send a direct message. You can also go to the website, and why I'm saying that is you guys will have first access before anybody, because no one can have access to it yet. So that's what that's, and go search the website, which is www.bigbamaspeaker.com. To see the updates and when the release will happen, but you can put yourself above, ahead of the line. If you go to the direct message and, just let me know you were in this chat. Really, I've had my time. I've had my life. It's my duty to teach players how to do business properly. That's my duty. We're in times of change. So I'm appreciative, but you guys are not going to know, like, coming like within the next 2 years, I'll be teaching, an elective, 3D engineering course, at the 3D School of Alabama. And it'll be electives only for athletes. We have to figure out how to transition the athletes a lot earlier, in education, versus when they actually, a lot of them transition to education after they get on playing sports on a pro level. Sometimes that's too late, because it's just too late for the transition. So having guys figure out how they want to transition after, during, like, when they're at school, and making the guys hone in on, you get a different type of money. Go invest it properly. Go do things, because you're probably the most popular you're ever going to be at the University of Alabama, and you have a following of people who will really want to do everything that you're a part of, but there's structure. That's how there's structure on the football team. There's structure in business. Don't take your education lightly. When you're waking up, and I know they practice in the morning, so now you guys can go focus on, like, your education, throughout the day. We had to worry about going to practice after classes and things like that, and still go to study hall, afterwards. So it's a big thing, putting people on game about business, but also it's not always about, learning in business, but be about your business. Like, can you go to sleep at the right time? Can you wake up and be on time, like, be early? Are you the little things? But anyways, it's not more about me, but you can find, like, www.bigbamaspeaker.com. Everybody go stream the Big Bama Anthem. Everybody, go stream the Big Bama Anthem. Like, you want to know the lyrics, because I'm letting you know it's gonna be played in Bryant Denny. We already, like, those things are already in motion.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
Folks,
Adrian, so you said basically all Bama players that's on this cast podcast tonight, Bama Standard is gonna get some free speakers. You gonna send it to
everyone in this chat right now is gonna get 5% off. You know, the actual speaker.
Yeah, that's them, but this is us. I'll shoot you the address afterwards, so you can just send the jump to the house, and I'll make sure that.
but you know what's interesting? Like no one else knows. Like I'm being real quiet about all this, you know, going down right now because I want the actual true fans to have access before people trying to buy it and resell and things because there's only, you know, like there's a certain amount and there's going to be a new version that comes out. It's different generations and it's like a collector's item. Like this jersey will be here, but if you have all three of them, you know, then you will have like I'm only going to make a limited amount, you know, like of the fourth one, and everyone who got all three of them, they're going to be the ones that get to have 50% off the fourth one. But these are things that are lined up. So it's like a collector's. Everything's collectors. Like it's for the fans, you know, it's for people, you know, who are alumni, kids, like
the A Club guys.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for my speakers, Adrian. I can't wait to start bumping that loud.
So I'll let you know. So we have these are the 10-inch ones, and then what you will see, like you'll start. There's a 6-foot one that's been given, you know, to the actual like football team.
I need it. I need it.
You know, but that's well, you'll see that coming here soon, but. Just stay with me. I appreciate everyone who's signing up, you know, in the email right now. But I'm giving you insight on another side of Adrian Hubbard that no one, you know, has ever, you know, gotten. No one's ever really heard me speak before. You just see me play. But I've always been not even an entrepreneur, just a visionary. Like it's no different than Coach Saban. There's a reason why he had foresight. He could see the end in the beginning. You know, he already knew like where his end was when he started. Like he already knew who his team, his core team was when he started. It's no different than when you're doing business. If you can't reverse engineer it, then you shouldn't be doing it.
You're right on that. Absolutely, man. But thank you again, brother. It's been an absolute honor. I'll remind people in about 20 minutes, we've got the final whistle. Former Alabama assistant Tyler Siskey is going to be the guest tonight. So you definitely want to check into that. But as far as us, that'll do it. Y'all have a good night and roll tide, everyone.
Roll tide. Daniel, I got yours. Hey, look, just so Daniel knows, I know who he is. But look, hey, anything Bama, I'm protected against it. Like, hey, look, don't put me on the stand because look, I don't know nothing else besides Alabama. Don't ask me no other questions. So I'm just seeing what I see. But I appreciate you, Daniel, and I'm gonna be talking to you as well.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll holler.